Thing set up. Or maybe I'm just scared to go. Good morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Sunday service here in Laguna Beach. I'm Don West. I'm going to be your worship associate this morning. And it is a new day was our gathering music. It is a new day here at the UUFLB. I'm going to step away and see if you guys can still hear me. Is the mic working? Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3, testing, testing. Everybody can hear me out there? Yes. So it's an exciting day here at the UUFLB. It's a new day. That was our gathering music. I asked the Google to find that for us because yesterday we had our congregational revisioning the future workshop, and exuberant and overjoyed to report that it exceeded all of my expectations on every metric and in every way going into the day. And so that song was absolutely appropriate. So welcome to the UUFLB. It is a new day and we are here. As is the tradition everywhere that a Unitarian Universalist service is held, we light a chalice at the beginning of our service. The chalice is the only symbol that we have in the Unitarian Universalist faith. And all across the world, everywhere that a service is held every week, and typically every time a group of Unitarian Universalists gather, the chalice is lit. And this morning, I'd like for us to just hold space and hold a moment of silence for everything that's going on in the world that is not on the good and happy side of the equation. All of the war, all of the hunger, all of the unsheltered, all of the things that are challenges. So let's just hold a little space as we light our chalice and open our service. It's very important that we're still here after COVID, after 75 years of existence. This is the 75th anniversary of this fellowship here in Laguna Beach. And we're still here, and we're still here in no small part because of the numerous contributions of so many individuals every day, every week, to open the building, to make sure that the candles are present and lit, that the building is clean, that the bills are paid. So everyone in this energetic fellowship that contributes, we want to show thanks and gratitude and say thank you, especially to our board, our worship committee, our facilities guru, Mr. Paul. He keeps our building alive and well. So thank you, and my own personal thanks and gratitude, because there wouldn't be anywhere for me to stand and talk and put on my suit and look all pretty and stuff. So thanks everybody for all of that. And we have a secret weapon at the UUFLB, and our secret weapon is the magnificent, marvelous, and beautiful Carol Cole. And look at that. See? Hashtag facts. And I am going to invite everyone to, if you choose to go into the great hymnal, look at hymn number 398. The words will be on the screen, and we are going to be led by the incomparable and lovely Carol Cole in To See the World, number 398.
The pianist that plays there established, she was a nightclub pianist for years, but she's a wonderful pianist and has a beautiful voice. I mean, she's older, she's like our age, right?
I'm the only black guy in Laguna Beach.
I invite you to stand, stretch your legs if you wish.
Yeah, he's really a cool guy.
Yeah. You need an AV tech.
You have a terrible sound in your computer. That's right. No.
I think it's the, I think it's the,
Glitching.
recording their, transmission isn't good.
It's all for you old people.
Unfortunately,
Nonsense.
because it's
And
good.
happening, a wildflower holding free in the palm of your hand, an eternity, an hour.
People that feel alienated or alone.
And now I invite you to remain standing, if you will, as we remind ourselves of why we gathered together.
Well, you're not in San Diego, there's tons of churches.
Words with me out loud.
Big, like conservative,
It
mega
feels
churches.
right for you.
Yeah.
On Zoom, I also encourage you to unmute yourselves and create that cacophony that is so beautiful on Zoom. These are the words of our unison affirmation. Love is the spirit of this fellowship, and service is its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, seek the truth in love, and to help
one another.
So, no, the volume is really bad.
you may take your seats. I'm gonna be completely transparent and honest, and I plan to do a responsive reading at this particular point, but I didn't have the time between the time that we finished our revisiting workshop yesterday and this very moment to put those slides together for you to read from. So I invite you to sit back and relax. But in the gray hymnal, number 660, if you want to read along, I'm going to read a passage from Henry David Thoreau entitled "To Live Deliberately." I'm sorry, the title, that is "To Live Deliberately." And it's number 660 in the gray hymnal. Why should we live in such a hurry and waste of life? We are determined to be starved before we are hungry. I wish to live deliberately, to front only the essential facts of life. I wish to learn what life has to teach, and not, when I come to die, discover that I have not lived. I do not wish to live what is not life. Living is so dear. Nor do I wish to practice resignation unless it is quite necessary. I wish to live deep and suck out all the marrow of life. I want to cut a broad swath, to drive life into a corner and reduce it to its lowest terms. If it proves to be mean, then to get the whole and genuine meanness of it and publish its meanness to the world. Or if it is sublime, to know it by experience and to be able to give a true account of it. That was "To Live Deliberately" from Henry David Thoreau. Now is a time in our service where we make space and make time to honor the journey, everything that's happened since we gathered together last week, the joys and sorrows. At this time, we're going to stop the recording and pause the recording. I invite you, if you're in the sanctuary and you have something that you would like to honor and respect, but may not want to share out loud, to come up and light a candle. And we're going to backtrack in time in the service to the place where we do our announcements, because announcements are important and we don't want to get away and not have everybody informed about what's going on. So momentarily, we're going to bring up a slide that's going to have some announcements on the screen. And the first one is that coming up next month on June 11th, we'll be having our annual congregational meeting. June 11th is the annual congregational meeting. And then every month we have the opportunity to engage and help in the community. And one of the things that we do is we help out at the assisted living, the assisted sleeping location here in Laguna Beach. And that's going to be June 1st. So the first of the month is coming up. Thursday, June 1st is our opportunity to help. And Candy is down. Candy is our regular, always dependable participant there. So if anybody wants to step in and step up, June 1st is that opportunity. Our worship committee is going to be meeting on Wednesday evening. So we just want to make sure everybody knows that if you have any worship ideas or want to give any worship input, that's going to be on Wednesday night. And every week on Monday, Paul Bogdan is our excellent and reliable moderator for Zoom at noon. And that is a space and a place for us to share and check in with one another and just stay apart and more engaged and involved in one another's lives every week. So those are our announcements. And then upcoming services. Next week, 5/28 is our Social Justice Sunday. And we're going to have a special presentation from a group that was put together by Noreen. Is that correct? Noreen found this for us. The Border Angels are coming in and they're going to give us a conversation and some education, and hopefully, as Oakley likes to challenge our speakers, something that we can take away and an actionable item that we can work on. On 6/4, June 4th, we have Quinae Danae Perkins. Did I say her name right? Quinae Danae Perkins is coming back to visit with us again on 6/4. And on 6/11, we have the next installment. And what were those words? We have to put this on the record. It was During Joys and Sorrows, but I wrote it down. We have an artist and a master of her craft rejoining us. The Reverend Celia Young is going to give us the second installment in her series on conscious aging. And we'll have a title for that soon, but she will be back on June 11th. So that's what's coming up in our service list. So we are absolutely looking forward to that. And now it is time for us to do what they say at the news stations and pay the bills. So the way that this congregation maintains and stays is through the generous support of time, talent, and treasure. And right now we are going to take a moment and Paul will pass around the basket, and there's going to be a slide up on the screen that shows several ways in which you can give electronically or by mail. So if you're watching this at home in the comfort of your pajamas off in the future and not here with us live, scan one of those QR codes and send us a donation, because that is how we are able to bring all of this together every week. So Paul's going to pass the basket. Carol's going to play some music. And if you're on Zoom and you haven't given in a while, why don't you go ahead and click one of those links and send us a donation. Take it away, Carol. And now I invite us all to rise and sing our song of thanks. It's 2 verses, so we will repeat. And if you want, let's join hands. Sorry.
From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live. From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live.
That's what they call a tight circle. Now we're going to move into a space of meditation and reflection. You may choose to say a prayer during this time, but I invite you to center yourself, find a comfortable position, and start to regulate your breathing, focusing on your breathing. You may choose to place your tongue against the roof of your mouth to help relax all of the muscles of the lower jaw. I invite you to breathe in deeply through your nose, breathing out through your mouth. Another deep breath in, out. Continue to focus on your breath. If your mind drifts, that's okay. Come back to the breath. Every time you go away to somewhere else that's not the breath, come back to the breath. And we're going to do that for a few moments of silence, focused on our breathing. And then Carol will play us out, and we will begin our sermon. So this is the fourth of 8 in a series that I've titled Be the Change. And when I walked in this morning, Oakley said I was a little formal in my attire and my dress. And I say back to you now, Mr. Oakley, I'm being the change, sir. It's a series number 4 of 8, and today it's the 4th principle, and our 4th principle is that we affirm and promote a free and responsible search for truth and meaning. As Unitarian Universalists, we affirm and promote a free and responsible search for truth and meaning. So, in figuring how do we incorporate that into our Be the Change challenge, I came up with a question. And so the question I bring to you, and I'll start with the people on Zoom if they have an answer to the question, and challenge Pam to keep up with this wildly moving parts of the service. But here's the question. What do you think truth and meaning mean? What do those words mean to you, so that we have a baseline of truth and meaning? Truth and meaning. Anyone on Zoom have a definition of either of those or both that they can share with us? And you guys here in the congregation, I'm going to give you a hint. You're next. Do we have any?
Robert, what do you
Go ahead,
do?
speak.
And I haven't recognized me.
That's right, go ahead. You speak.
No. Hello? I can't hear.
It's all frozen.
It's frozen, Robert.
All right, let's just enjoy this.
No, we can hear you. Or at least I can hear you.
Hear you on Zoom. I can't see who it is that was speaking. I see Carol has her hand up, but if you get spotlighted, we can hear you.
It was Sherry Keith, I'm pretty sure.
Can't spotlight you to let you know that we've put the spotlight on you if your camera's not on. So for Candy and Rachel, we can't spotlight you, but we can hear you. So take it away, Zoom. Carolyn first.
You're muted, Carolyn. Can somebody tell Carolyn she's muted?
Yeah, I thought Robert Girling had his hand up. And I
He
saw,
did, and I heard Sherry's voice, but then they dropped off. Oh, here he's coming back.
oh, good, okay.
But it's your turn now, Carolyn.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. Truth and meaning. I would like to think that truth and meaning are the same. That the true meaning, you've heard this phrase, the true meaning of something would be truth. Unfortunately, I don't think oftentimes they are the same. That a truth, the meaning of something may be totally different than the truth. And I think in the Unitarian Universalist Church, we're looking toward bringing truth and meaning together, that they mean the same thing. And so that's just what I was thinking. And now on to Robert Girling.
All right, this is actually Sherry Key for Robert Girling.
Oh,
Robert
okay.
Girling's here. Robert Girling's here, but that's okay. So, for me, truth is actually quite subjective. I don't believe that there's any objective reality. So what my truth about a particular event or a particular situation or a particular principle might be different from someone else's. And my meaning, the meaning that I attach to that truth, right, is also individual. What I would agree is that we are looking, in order to have mutual understanding and mutual respect among people in the world, that we need to first accept that different people have different truths and they attach different meanings, and that we need to be able to explain to each other or articulate to each other what our truth is about any particular thing. It could be about gay rights. It could be about, a past historical event. It could be about a political candidate today. And I think that the important thing is that we can discuss the different ways that we see truth about a particular thing or occurrence or person, and arrive at some mutual respect, if not agreement.
Thank you. Do we have anybody else on Zoom that had a thought? I see Tom's hand.
Yeah, to me, the two don't seem to align with each other. Meaning to me feels very personal, the meaning for my own purpose in life, searching for that meaning. Truth seems more outwardly and less personal. Like, what do I believe to be true? Kind of jumping on what Sherry just said. what do other people believe to be true, hopefully sharing our truths and listening to other people's truths. I'm thinking of my sister here who is more MAGA, and how difficult it is for us to share our truths with each other and respectively and respectfully listen to each other. Whereas to me, meaning is very personal to me. It's my job to find the meaning and purpose in my own life. And that's kind of how I see the two of them. Okay, stop highlighting me.
On Zoom for that. And now we're going to come into the building and see if we have anybody who will give us a thought and participation. Anyone here have something on truth and meaning? We got Oakley, so stand by.
Well, I think I would partly disagree and partly agree. To me, there is only one objective truth. I mean, each of us individually may be able to see or not see it, and may change our opinion of it and our ability to ascertain it throughout our lives. I think, on the other hand, meaning is very subjective. It's more what it comes closer to being wisdom as opposed to knowledge. And it's a personal evaluation and of what we perceive to be facts or the truth.
Anybody else have a share on Harry? On yours?
Somewhere there. To me, truth is objective fact, scientific fact, provable, and it is whatever is so, regardless of what we may think or know. So that's truth. But meaning is entirely subjective, cultural, contemporary. It may be true that I think something, but that's not the same kind of truth as objective reality. And just one more thing. I personally, and this is a contradiction in itself, but I don't believe in believing. There's no way to know what is so. The best we can do is assume. Some assumptions have a very, very high probability. If I drop something, it will fall. But other assumptions are far less confirmable. And what I seek in life is to know as best I can what the odds are of my assumptions being accurate. Anyway, to me, that one is a subject, meaning is subjective, and truth is objective.
Anyone else in the building that has anything to share on truth and meaning? Anyone going once? Going twice? There might be a prize. There might be a prize. Thank you, everybody. So let's just get a quick recap of a couple things that I heard. I heard scientific fact, meaning is cultural and contemporary. Meaning is something that is very personal to some of us. The truth is something that is more out there and less personal. Truth is often quite subjective. Meaning is individual. There can be a point where truth and meaning becomes the same. So when I was putting together the blurb, I was thinking about the duality of life and truth. And so I'm going to ask a couple questions to see if we can get here. scientific fact is been stated as something that is an objective truth. But are scientific facts subject to change? So can a scientific fact be an absolute truth if it's subject to change? So in our blurb for the service, I suggested there's a truth with a capital T. And what I mean by truth with a capital T is that is an absolute truth. It is truth, and it is such because it's unchanging. It's unchanging from time to time, from day to day, from place to place, from language to language. It doesn't change, and thus it is an absolute truth. And now I have one that I can come up with that's an absolute truth that I can share, but I'm not going to do it. I'm going to see if anybody has an absolute truth that they can think of here in the room to keep it expeditious and on time. Absolute truth. Can you think of something that's a truth that's unchanging? Harry. Everyone dies. Everyone dies. An absolute truth. Love heals. Gravity exists. People have potential. Water is essential to life. All the ones that you guys have on Zoom, if you want to, yell them out at each other on the Zoom. We won't get the benefit of it, but you guys will hear it. Share your ideas on the Zoom, and I'll tell you the one that I had, and that's the sun will come up tomorrow. Every day the sun will come up tomorrow, at least as long as we've had a history here, that seems to be an absolute truth. So if it's not one of the things that we stated and it's not unchanging, it's not truth with a capital T. And that's just an important distinction because now they say that we live in a post-truth reality. And what is that? If now we have subjective truths and now we're in a post-truth reality where people don't know what is true, and we've already established pretty universally in our answers that truth is subjective to begin with, it can become very confusing as to what is and what isn't out there in the world. And so our challenge as people who represent themselves to be something is there's a hip hop song, a rap song, and it says it this way: you have to walk it how you talk it. You have to walk it how you talk it. My dad would say the straight and narrow. So you have to walk the straight and narrow if you're talking in the straight and narrow. And I've had an interesting experience that I have to share with you guys since I've become a seminarian. It's empowered people to give me their opinion on what I should do with my life and how I should live my life as a spiritual leader. And the summation of every one of these lectures is, young man, you have to walk it how you talk it. And last night, I was very tired. Some of you know how tired I looked. I almost might have looked sick yesterday because I had pushed myself to the limit to make sure things got done. And at the end of that, I called my best friend in Atlanta because we hadn't spoken in a week, and his little sister was there. And he put me on speakerphone so I had to say hello. And I said, guess what, little sis? I'm going to Divinity school, blah, 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 blah. And she said, oh, hold up. I have questions. She said, I've known you for a long time and I know you. She's like, this is exactly what she said. There's going to have to be some changes. There's going to have to be some changes. So this is the Be the Change Challenge. So as I've shared with you, so many people have challenged me to make sure that I am walking it how I talk it. And I'm going to push that back to the people that I spend my time with here at the fellowship in Laguna Beach, because we're going to be the change, and people need to be able to, with their eyeball test, look at you and see something that makes a difference. Thus, When I walk around Laguna Beach for moments this afternoon, people are going to look at me and notice something different, not because of the suit, but it might have something to do with it. But as Unitarian Universalists, in our spaces where we spend consistent time, our workspaces, our relaxation spaces, the people that are in those spaces should be able to see that we're walking it how we talk it. We say our unison affirmation every week. We refer to our 7 principles every week. And the question and the challenge I have for you is it just words? And if there is truth with a capital T, that's what we're seeking. We're seeking the truth with the capital T. We're seeking it with respect and with space for everyone as Unitarian Universalists. It's our 4th principle. It's why we have chosen to gather. And so then there's all the other things in the world that aren't truths with the capital T. That's everything else. And then the question is, does any of that matter? Love. Every time Reverend Tom comes, Reverend Tom brings us to love. Love is an absolute truth. And we seek to align with it and to find our meaning. And so in being the change, next week, between now and next month when I come back and we do the 5th principle, the challenge is every day, ask yourself, am I aligning more with love or with all of the other things that are the lowercase t? So let's be the change, Laguna Beach, the UUFLB. Let's focus on that. And let's invite Carol to start moving towards the piano as we open ourselves in fellowship and sing one of our favorites around here. It's not a new song. It's in the bluish teal hymnal. It's number 1051. We are. Number 1051. We are. And as they would say, if this was a nightclub, take it away, Carol.
Please stand as you're comfortable. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe
Who we are,
For each child that's born,
for a morning star rises
to the
universe. Who we are.
We are our grandfather's prayers. We are our grandfather's dreamings. We are the breath of our
ancestors.
We
are
Spirit
of God.
We are mothers of courage,
And
mothers
mothers
of
of
time.
time.
We are daughters of trust and the sons of great vision, sisters of mercy, brothers of love. We are lovers of life and the builders of nations. We're seekers of truth and keepers of faith. We are makers of peace and the wisdom of ages. We are our grandmother's prayers. We are our grandfather's dreamings. We are the breath of our ancestors. We are the Spirit of God.
1, 2.
For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are.
Outstanding. Thank you so very, very much. And now we shall extinguish our chalice. And I invite you on Zoom in your mind space to gather around with us and hold hands with us as we do that here in the space. And we are going to sing our closing song, Let There Be Peace on Earth.
Let
There be peace on earth.
And let it begin with me. Let there be
Peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With earth as our mother, we are family. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony.
Let peace begin with me.
Let this be the moment now.
With every step I take, let this be my song. Take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me.
Thank you.